Our objective of presentation today is to identify if animal is the cause of COVID-19, and secondly, what are the symptoms of COVID-19, and finally, what are the prevention methods of COVID-19. Greetings. Today we are going to talk about COVID-19. What is COVID-19? COVID-19, also known as coronavirus disease 2019, is a disease that causes respiratory syndromes that is caused by the SARS coronavirus 2. This virus was first detected in Wuhan, the Hubei province of China. This virus was detected late in 2019 and later become widespread across the globe in the following year. In March 2020, the World Health Organization declared this as a pandemic and a global health crisis. What is a coronavirus? A coronavirus is a family of virus that causes illness to the respiratory system and gastrointestinal system. SARS coronavirus 2 is a novel coronavirus, which means it is a new strain that recently jumped to humans. Coronavirus are usually zoonotic viruses, which means they jump from one animal species to another animal species.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Muhammad Hafiz IBRAHIM and I'm going to present about our animals, the causes of COVID-19. First and foremost, we have to know that approximately 16 to 70% of the new diseases affecting billions of humans had a zoonotic origin. According to World Health Organization, the COVID-19 outbreak has been determined as a zoonotic disease, which means it originated from an animal. The first known infections from SARS-CoV-2 were discovered in Wuhan City, China in December 2019. The virus was found in wet market in Wuhan when different types of wild animals, for example like snakes and marmots, and domesticated animals like poultry and bats, were sold legally or illegally. The market was also dealing in wildlife trade and consumptions of exotic wildlife, thus suggested the disease may be transmitted from an animal to human. SARS-CoV-2 was identified in early January and its genetic sequence shared publicly on 11 to 12 January. The full genetic sequence of SARS-CoV-2 from the early human cases and the sequences of many other viruses isolated from human cases from China and all over the world since then showed that SARS-CoV-2 has an ecological origin in bat populations. All available evidence to date suggests that the virus has a natural animal origin and is not a manipulated or constructed virus. Many researchers have been able to look at the genomic features of SARS-CoV-2 and have found that evidence does not support that SARS-CoV-2 is a laboratory construct. Another coronavirus, which is SARS-CoV-1, the causes of the severe acute respiratory syndrome outbreak in 2003, was also closely related to other coronaviruses isolated from bats. These close genetic relations of SARS-CoV-1, SARS-CoV-2, and other coronaviruses suggest that they all have their ecological origin in bat populations. Many of these coronaviruses can also infect several animal species. For example, SARS-CoV-1 infected civet cats and then humans, while the virus causing the Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, which is MERS-CoV, is found in dromedary camels and has continued to infect humans since 2012. According to a study shared by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, it is possible that bats with the new coronavirus were introduced to the market. This might have a low recombination, or the viruses exchanging genetic material to create a new virus. Therefore, bats may have played a role in the COVID-19 outbreak. Since there is usually limited close contact between humans and bats, it is more likely that the transmissions of the virus to humans happen through another animal species, that one is more likely to be handled by the humans. This intermediate animal host or zoonotic source could be a domestic animal, a wild animal, or a domesticated wild animal. How this virus moved from animal to human population is yet to be determined. However, the animals have been the sources of transmission as described in a figure below. Also, in the case of COVID-19, there is some evidence it went from bat to a pangolin before infecting a human. Therefore, based on the evidence available, it can be said that animals could be the causes of the COVID-19.
COVID-19 has varied effects on different persons. The majority of infected persons will develop mild to moderate sickness and recover without the need for hospitalizations. It takes 5 to 6 days on average after being infected with the virus for symptoms to appear. However, it can take up to 14 days. The most common symptoms are fever, cough, fatigue, and loss of taste or smells. Less common symptoms include a sore throat, headache, itches and pains, diarrhea, a rash on the skin, or discoloration of the fingers or toes, and red or irritated eyes. Serious symptoms include difficulty breathing or shortness of breath, loss of speech or mobility, disorientation, and chest pain. Who is affected? The COVID-19 epidemic affects all segments of population and is most harmful to members of the most vulnerable social groups. It continues to affect populations such as people living in poverty, senior citizens, people with disabilities, youth, and indigenous people. Older people, particularly those with chronic health disorders such as hypertension, cardiovascular disease, and diabetes, are highly susceptible to COVID-19 infection.
There are a few ways to prevent the spread of COVID-19. Firstly, maintain a safe distance from others at least 1 meter, even if they don't appear to be sick. Second, wear a mask in public, especially indoor or when physical distancing is not possible. Thirdly, choose open, well-ventilated spaces over closed ones. Fourth, clean your hands often. Use soap and water or hand sanitizer. Next, get vaccinated when it's your turn. Other than that, cover your nose and mouth with your bent elbow or a tissue when you cough or sneeze. And the last is, stay home if you feel unwell. Based on this study, we can conclude that animals could be the cause of COVID-19 according to the World Health Organization's WHO. Other than that, animals also could be the reason COVID-19 spread to humans through close contact, either directly or indirectly. However, based on the available information, the risk of animals spreading COVID-19 to people is low, and there's no strong evidence that animals play a significant role in spreading SARS-CoV-2, which is the virus that caused COVID-19 to humans. Therefore, we as humans can decrease the rate of spread of COVID-19 with stay hygiene and always wearing a mask wherever we go. Protect yourself and others around you by knowing the fact that taking appropriate precautions could save a lot of lives. I think that's all from us. Thank you.